Hi, Bijaya. Thank you for joining us today at EJable. I'm really excited to have this opportunity to talk to you and to get to know you about your experience here working in the IT field in Japan. And if you could give us a bit of your little introduction, that would be great.
So thank you so much for having me here. So I am Vijaya. So I am a software engineer from Nepal. I basically come from Nepal. So I graduated from Kathmandu University, which is located in Dhulikhel, uh, nearby town, nearby Kathmandu. So in 2015, and from 2015, I have been working as software engineer. And yeah, I came to Japan last year on August.
Mhm. Great. Thank you so much. And what was your first encounter with Japan, or what was the reason that you decided to move here and work as a software engineer?
So regarding Japan, many of us over there in Nepal know about Japan from their early childhood because Japan has helped a lot in the development sector, like building of the roads or building some big hospitals or something like that. So many of us know that it's a well-developed country and good friend of our country, Nepal, as well. So it also has been one of the destination for the students so that they can move there for the higher education. So
Mm.
regarding me, back in 2020, I was working in one Japanese company itself. So that was a remote job. It was a part-time job. I was working as a software engineer over there, and then the main owner was Japanese, and we were some couple of Nepalese working over there. So I was working in that team. I liked the people, Japanese people, the way they behave. They are very disciplined. They are very loyal, and then I was so much attracted by this kind of behavior. And then I decided. I thought, I think let's give a try and let's try to apply for some companies in Japan. So
Oh,
yeah, I was very much excited about the people and their like behavior.
okay, cool. Oh, nice. I see. That's very nice to hear. And so, do you have any have any knowledge in the Japanese language, or like are you able to speak a little bit, like just a conversation or anything in Japanese?
uh, Actually, I do not speak Japanese. I am learning it though. So
Okay.
because of my busy schedule, I do not have sufficient time to prepare for it.
Hmm.
But despite of that, I'm trying to learn it. So I know very basic conversation. It's going on. So even my company, they support us by teaching Japanese. So we try to attend that, and
Hmm.
yeah, slowly and gradually I'm learning, but still I am on very basic level.
Okay. And so, do you feel that there's any difficulty not knowing Japanese in terms of working here at Mercari, or not at all?
So actually, in my company, we do not have any kind of difficulties for working.
Hmm.
This is because we have many multinational
Right.
developers over here. So the developers are from all around the world,
Hmm.
and even my team it is very diverse. We have someone from Russia, someone from another country. So we have people from variety of countries. So most of the communication is done in English itself.
Hmm.
So all of the communication as it is done in English, that is very helpful for us, and it's pretty easy. So
Okay.
in terms of work, it's there is no problem, but in real life, so there are few difficulties. If you have to go to the city ward or city hall, in that
Right.
case you do not know how to
Uh,
communicate, so in that case it becomes little problematic.
yeah, I see. Yeah, especially because Japan has so much paperwork to do at the city hall. Yeah. Yes. Okay, great. Then let's see. How was your process? So you moved last summer, basically. How
Yeah.
was the process of moving here?
The process was really smooth. So I applied the company it like it provided me the COE. I went to my local embassy. I submitted the
Mm-hmm.
COE and all of the visa application form. After that, I got my visa. So after that, I simply prepared and to come over here. So it was pretty easier when I transitioned myself from Nepal to Japan. It is pretty easy. So I liked the way that it was smooth.
Okay, that's nice to hear, and I'm glad. And then maybe a bit more specific about your current position. What do you like, or what do you enjoy doing about your current position as a senior, as a software engineer?
So yeah, there are many things that I like in my current position or job. So one of
Mm-hmm.
the things is that being able to be part of such a huge company is a great deal for me, and I
Mm-hmm.
basically enjoy it. And the application, the amount of the users, and the traffic of the request, everything is in huge. It is very high compared to what I was experiencing in my country when I worked
Mm-hmm.
over there. So so the things are pretty much amazing over here. So I like the first thing that I like is the company itself and
Okay.
the project that I'm working on. So apart
Mm-hmm.
from that, another benefit that I have seen over here is that I can interact with many people coming from different parts of the world. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a global village. We are like it feels like I'm in the global village because we have the members from different part of the world. So
Yeah.
you can communicate with every one of them. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
a very amazing thing. And next thing is that there is plenty of learning opportunities. So in terms of
Mm-hmm.
learning opportunities, we can expand ourselves, we can learn so many things. And in the past 8 months, I have learned so many new amazing technologies, all of the amazing tools, and those of things has helped me a lot, and it's helping me grow as a software engineer. So I like the things so much. And another thing is that uh, the company itself, it pushes us to take some bold challenges and
Mm-hmm.
enhance ourselves in terms of being a good developer. So that is something that I like the most. Yeah, these are
Okay.
the few basic things that I like so much about my job.
Okay, nice. Then, so I see that the working environment has been a bit different from where you were back in Nepal, since so many people are international. Did you have to kind of bring some change within you to kind of fit into this working environment and within working in Japan, or was it very smooth to kind of just get to know everybody and just kind of work together very yeah, smoothly?
So when I was in Nepal, I was working in the companies which were basically the outsourcing companies. So we most of the companies over there, IT companies over there, are the outsourcing companies, and I worked in such outsourcing companies for most of my career.
Mm-hmm.
So we mostly had to deal with the clients or some developers who are on the different country from our
Oh,
country. So
okay.
basically, we had some sort of exposure working with some
Mm,
foreigners at that time as well. So at that time as well, so before coming to Japan, my full-time job was in Prosor. It was Netherlands based or mainly
cool.
European based company. So where our company provided team as a service, some service,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working for one of the Germany based client. So we used to communicate with the developers in the Germany, and we used to work in a sprint by sprint basis where we had direct communication. We used to communicate on different Scrum ceremonies. So that was pretty amazing experience over there as well. And when I came to Japan, since I already had some sort of exposure working with
Mm,
some foreigners or some foreign nationals, so that was not a big deal for me,
mm-hmm.
because previously as well I was working with them, working and
Yeah.
completely communicating in English. So that is
Yeah.
not a big difference for me. But
Mm-hmm.
there are few different changes that I have experienced. Is that since I was working for some outsourcing companies, it was the project was not won by us, but this time
Mm,
we work in a company where we are building something for our company, because the project
Right.
is won by us. So this is something different, and there are many benefits of this particular thing, that when you own a project and you have a company and you are software engineer in that company, in that
Mm-hmm.
case the culture will be something little different compared to what you can get when you are working for some outsourcing companies. So there are so
Mm.
many benefits. So that was the first thing, that was the different in terms of the culture. So apart from that, I felt we have I worked with some nationalists, like some Germany developers, German based developers. But here
Mm-hmm.
I can communicate or work with the developers from throughout the world. So all of them have their different mindset, all of them have their different
Uh,
culture. And mainly,
yeah.
as we are working in Japan, we also have some sort of Japanese culture, which is known
Mm-hmm.
as one of the strict work culture, and people are so much dedicated to their job. This is something like that, that is known throughout the world. So coming over here, one of the big advantage is that everyone is dedicated, everyone is very knowledgeable, and they
Mm-hmm.
are so much passionate about the job. So it also feels everyone loves their job. So by looking into them or by learning from them, I can see that I can have so much of enthusiasm, and I also feel like I need
Mm.
to be dedicated and love my job. So those are the things that I find a little different compared to what I have over there.
Oh, okay. Whoa, I haven't heard anybody say that you could learn like enthusiasm about your work by being in Japan. Especially also as a Japanese, I feel that a lot of people work a lot of people are kind of forcing themselves to work in Japan, and when they don't want to, with a lot of tatemae and all these Japanese cultures. So hearing that is very comforting and nice to know that yeah, that I do wish. It makes me want to, yeah, see yeah, how it's like to actually work in Japan, because I haven't been able to work. This is my internship, so yeah, it's nice to hear that for me too. It's
I
nice.
hope you will experience it and you'll love it as well.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I hope so. Then, moving on from the working in Japan, I would like to work on what you do outside, or just about the Japanese culture that you might or might not like. So, what aspects of Japan or the Japanese culture outside of work or within work that do you like? Or,
So regarding within work, as I said previously,
mm-hmm,
I have seen some Japanese developers or Japanese friends in our company. So I have worked closely with some of them, not with all, with but with some of them. So working with them, what I have found, what I have seen or what I have found about them is that they are very humble.
mm,
They are very helpful personality, so they are very dedicated to their job. And then so if you seek some help, or if you want any sort of advice from them, if you are in emergency, you need anything related to work or anything, so they will always be there for you. That is one of the very good thing that I have seen, that they are very much dedicated and they want to provide their best. So that is one
mhm,
of the best virtue that I can find in any person from any world. So that is some kind of the selflessness that they have. So that is something that I love, and I think this is one of the Japanese culture as well, where they try to give their best and they want
mm,
everything to be perfect. This is one of the best thing. So outside of the work, what I like is that the environment, and it is very clean.
mm,
So everything is well managed. You can see, so you might not have experienced how it looks in my country or some underdeveloped countries. So the environment is not as clean as you can see. So we are living in one of the very beautiful cities of the world. Tokyo is one of the most beautiful city of the world. It is not polluted. So when I first came to Japan, I saw that I could not see any kind of smoke or any kind of dust
mm,
in the roads or in the surrounding. So that is something that I was so much amazed. So how I just tried to figure out how is that possible. So I wanted to know about this. So and then
Oh.
when I started living over here, then what sort of things that I identified is that it is because of the Japanese culture. The people are so much disciplined, they are so much
Mhm.
dedicated, and they want to keep their environment clean, they want to have
Mm,
everything clean and perfect. So they take these things as their responsibility, so they do not run away from this thing that this is not my duty, I will not do this, I will not clean this. They do not run away from this. So they
yeah.
basically take in charge of that particular thing. This is something that is completely opposite in my country. So if you
Mm,
see, so people try to run away from their duty, but over
mhm.
here this is something that I felt very different. So this is the main reason why the company, sorry, why the country has progressed so fast in past few years, and it is one of the uh, topmost destinations for someone who love the dedication, discipline, and everything. So this is the most
Mm,
important thing that I love about Japanese culture, that they are so much disciplined, they are so much helpful, and they are always eager to prove themselves best, and they try their best in that.
okay. Wow. That's nice to hear. I see. Then, are there any things that you might not necessarily like about here, Japan, or working in Japan?
So far, there is nothing that I do not like about working culture, because yeah, I love my job so much. So it's amazing to be part of such a big company where you are given full exposure, that you can expand your horizons,
Hmm.
do something challenging, and at the same time you do not have any sort of pressures that you previously used to hear,
Um,
that in Japanese company there is so much of pressure.
yeah.
This is something that I have not faced. So we have a
Okay.
full freedom, that you, the main thing is that please expand yourselves, please expand your horizon and knowledge, but yeah, the main thing is that apart from that there is no any kind of pressure or something like that. So work culture is very great, so I do not, there is nothing that I do not like about it. So
Hmm.
even with culture, I have not been exposed fully to the culture
Hmm.
and all, but
Hmm.
so only the thing that I feel at the moment is language is the barrier in some
Mm,
cases.
yeah.
So because I have very very limited knowledge of Japanese, I know only couple of lines, and even though I know, when I go to the supermarket or somewhere, what happens is that I cannot express my so whatever I know that particular word, but when I want to express that, I'm unable to do that. So that is the little problem. So
Yeah.
if I can overcome this barrier of language, or if I can
Hmm.
overcome this language barrier, I definitely think that this will be a very good thing for me.
Okay. Then, would you do you currently have a wish to stay quite a long time here in Japan if you could continue this position? Uh,
Uh, Actually, yeah, there are, as I
oh.
said, I pretty much love Japan.
Hmm.
So I loved Japan before coming to Japan, when I was working with that Japanese company, and then I
Right.
started researching about the different videos, and then I was so much excited that I only thought of Japan. So there was COVID
Oh,
during
okay.
that period, and then
Uh-huh.
yeah, so COVID was about to end. It was not about to end, but the all the lockdowns and also they were just being loosened, and then people would be able to travel again to the different countries. So at least the situation was getting better. So
Mm,
I only thought of Japan at that time, and I was applying in different companies, and I wanted to get into Japan in any way. At that time, I did not know that one requires Japanese knowledge. Most of the companies, they seek Japanese language as a requirement to have someone be hired, or if you do not have Japanese language, they will not even proceed with your job
um,
application. I did not know about that. So at that time, I was applying for many random companies in LinkedIn. I applied in many of the companies, and I got rejected without any
mm,
reason. So there was no reason. And later on, I came to know that it was because they had language as a requirement, which I did not, which I could not fulfill. So that because of that reason, I was completely rejected.
mm,
So yeah, luckily I got chance to apply in a company where they accept the English speaking nationals from throughout the world, and I got lucky
mhm.
to be here in Japan.
Okay,
So yeah,
nice.
I would love to continue being here in Japan as long as I can, because I
Oh,
love everything. So there is no one to disturb you. So the people are so helpful. So yeah, I would love to be Japan. I would love to be in Japan as long as I can.
okay. Wow. Happy to hear that. Then maybe one of the last questions. What do you do in your free time?
So in my free time, it depends upon the different time. I am usually free during the weekends. So sometimes
Hmm.
I uh, write some articles
Oh.
on Medium about technical articles, and
Hmm.
I also have my YouTube channel. That is my
Oh.
part-time hobby. So I do not
Okay.
have a mm, bundle of videos. I have very limited videos. All of
Hmm.
those are related to technical tutorials. I try to
Oh.
work on them on some weekends. So a couple of maybe 1.5 months back, I released one video on a full Node.js tutorial. It was 5 to 6 hours long. So I worked on that for a
Wow.
couple of weeks on weekends to complete it. So yeah, when I get time, I try to spend my time investing on that thing so that I can help some other developers as well, because writing some article or some
Hmm.
making some YouTube videos, it helps the developers. I started it back in 2017, and then
Okay.
I
Wow.
used to get very good comments from people from around the world on my
Uh-huh.
Medium article, that they liked it and then they wanted some other topics. So I was really happy to help them. So sometimes I do that thing, and apart from that, sometimes I try to visit some places with friends and family. um, like I went to Hamariku Gardens last time. I went to Tokyo Skytree. I have not visited Tokyo that much, but sometimes
Hmm.
I'd love to visit those places.
Okay. Wow. Wow. That's really cool. I've always thought about YouTube channels. I thought I really like video editing and stuff like that, but I've never had the actual courage to have one. So that's really cool that you have one. It's been that you've been doing these for almost just like for 5 years or so, or six, since
Yeah, regarding
2017.
the YouTube channel, I started only in 2020. So before that, I
Okay.
used to write articles on Medium. So I
Oh,
started that
wow.
in 2017, end of 2017.
Okay. Wow. That's very cool. Wow. Nice. Then my last question for you would be, do you have any tips or advice that for anybody who's looking to work or applying now to work in Japan?
My tips or advice for someone who would love to work in Japan. So the first thing is that the mindset of the people over here is comparatively different than what we can find in some other part of the world. This is because Japanese people are very much dedicated. They are serious to their work, and they try to give their best. So the first thing that we should think is that when coming to Japan, so in the initial phase we might feel a little difficult or different, because the mindset of the people and the working culture might be little different than what we might have been experiencing at the moment. So in that case, yeah, I would like to advise everyone to be prepared on that thing, and uh, be prepared wholeheartedly and accept that thing.
Mhm.
So next thing is that technically, compared to what I was doing before and what I am doing at the moment, so some things are similar, but some things are not similar, because there are so many opportunities over here, like tools and technologies, so many things that I was working with before. So I got chance to work with so many new technologies over here. So the one thing is that the amount of knowledge that you can have over here is abundant. So you need
Mhm.
to be prepared for that as well. And if possible, you could go through the websites to see what sort of tools and technologies they are using, and you can prepare yourselves for that as well. So it is not required that you need to know everything, but you can simply have some basic ideas of those things, and then you
Mm.
can basically be comfortable with it. And next thing is that, yeah, even though I do not know Japanese as my skill set, but I would request someone, whoever is planning to come to Japan, please have some basic knowledge of Japanese, at least starting with Minano Nihongo's first part, understanding few of the things. So I was suggested by some of my friends previously, but yeah, I did not took that seriously. But at least if you have that knowledge, it helps a lot. So those are the very few things that I would suggest.
Okay, great. Those are great advice to hear for sure. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I'm really happy that I got to know you a bit better and about your working experience. And thank you so much for being here.
So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.